Corktown, Detroit, stands as a testament to America's industrial rise and fall. Born from the ashes of Native American settlements and 19th-century Irish immigration, this neighborhood forged the nation's automotive soul. Let us unearth the forgotten stories that shaped a city and a nation forever. In the early 18th century, the area now known as Corktown, Detroit, was a vast expanse of wilderness, inhabited by the Native American tribes of the Anishinaabe people, including the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi. The region's unique geography, with the Detroit River flowing into Lake Erie, made it an attractive location for trade and settlement. As French explorers such as Étienne Brulé and Samuel de Champlain began to venture into the area, they encountered the indigenous peoples who had lived along the river for centuries. One of the earliest recorded European visitors to the region was French missionary Jacques Marquette, who arrived in 1670. Marquette's journey up the Detroit River marked the beginning of a long and complex relationship between European settlers and Native American tribes in the area. The French established a series of trading posts and missions, including the Mission of Sainte-Anne, which was founded in 1701 by French colonist Antoine de la Mothe Cadillac. As the French presence in the region grew, so did the impact on the Native American population. The introduction of European diseases, such as smallpox, decimated the indigenous population, who had no immunity to these new illnesses. Additionally, the French trade in furs and other natural resources led to increased competition and conflict between different Native American tribes. The Anishinaabe people, however, maintained a strong presence in the region, and their cultural influence can still be seen in the area's place names, such as the Detroit River, which is derived from the French word Detroit, meaning straight, but also references the Native American word Tejo, meaning river crossing. In the mid-18th century, the British gained control of the region from the French following the French and Indian War. The British established a series of forts, including Fort Detroit, which was built in 1778. During this period, the area began to attract settlers from Europe, particularly from Ireland and Scotland. One of the earliest recorded Irish immigrants to the area was a man named John Askin, who arrived in 1735 and established a trading post on the river. Askin's business ventures and relationships with Native American tribes helped to establish him as a prominent figure in the early history of Detroit. As the 18th century drew to a close, the area that would become Corktown began to take shape. The British government had begun to offer land grants to settlers, and the area's fertile soil and access to the river made it an attractive location for farming and trade. The early 19th century saw a significant influx of Irish immigrants to the area, many of whom were attracted by the promise of work in the growing city's industries. These immigrants brought with them their language, culture, and traditions, which would eventually give the neighborhood its distinctive character. One notable example is the establishment of St. Peter's Church in 1828, which became a hub for the Irish Catholic community in Detroit. The church's construction marked the beginning of a long history of Irish influence in the area, which would eventually earn the neighborhood the nickname Corktown, in reference to County Cork in Ireland. As the 19th century progressed, the area continued to grow and develop with the establishment of new businesses, homes, and institutions. The construction of the Michigan Central Railroad in 1830 brought new opportunities for trade and commerce, and the neighborhood began to take on a more urban character. However, the growth and development of Corktown were not without challenges, as the area faced issues such as poverty, overcrowding, and social unrest. Despite these challenges, the neighborhood remained a vibrant and dynamic community, shaped by the interactions of its diverse inhabitants. As the 19th century progressed, Corktown's growth and development continued to accelerate, with the neighborhood becoming a hub for industrial activity. The construction of the Michigan Central Railroad had brought new opportunities for trade and commerce, and the area's proximity to the Detroit River made it an ideal location for shipbuilding and other industries. One notable example is the establishment of the Dry Dock Engine Works, a shipbuilding company that was founded in 1852 by a group of investors, including William P. Wetmore, a prominent Detroit businessman. The company's dry dock facility, which was located on the riverfront, allowed for the construction and repair of large ships, and it quickly became one of the largest employers in the area. The growth of industry in Corktown also led to an influx of new immigrants, including Germans, Poles, and Italians, who were attracted by the promise of work in the neighborhood's factories and shipyards. These immigrants brought with them their own unique cultural traditions and practices, which helped to shape the character of the neighborhood. For example, the establishment of the German-American community in Corktown led to the construction of St. Joseph's Church, a beautiful Gothic Revival-style church that was built in 1855 and featured stunning stained glass windows and intricate stone carvings. As the neighborhood continued to grow and develop, it also became a hub for social and cultural activity. The establishment of the Detroit Institute of Arts in 1883, which was located in a beautiful Beaux-Arts building on Woodward Avenue, brought a new level of sophistication and culture to the area. The Institute's collection, which included works by European and American artists, helped to establish Detroit as a major cultural center, and it attracted visitors from all over the city. The late 19th century also saw the rise of labor activism in Corktown as workers began to organize and demand better wages and working conditions. One notable example is the formation of the Amalgamated Association of Iron and Steel Workers, which was established in 1876 and represented workers at the neighborhood's many shipyards and factories. The union's efforts helped to improve working conditions and secure higher wages for workers, but it also led to conflicts with management and the occasional strike. Despite these challenges, Corktown continued to thrive, and the neighborhood remained a vibrant and dynamic community. The establishment of the Michigan Central Depot in 1884, which was a grand railroad station that served as a hub for passenger and freight traffic, helped to solidify the neighborhood's position as a major transportation center. The depot's beautiful Romanesque Revival-style architecture, which featured a stunning clock tower and intricate stone carvings, made it a landmark in the area, and it remains one of the most iconic buildings in Detroit to this day. As the 20th century dawned, Corktown's industrial landscape continued to evolve, with the neighborhood becoming a hub for the burgeoning automotive industry. The construction of the Michigan Central Depot had solidified the area's position as a major transportation center, and the arrival of Henry Ford's Detroit Automobile Company in 1899 marked the beginning of a new era for the neighborhood. Ford's innovative use of the assembly line production method revolutionized the manufacturing process, making cars more affordable and accessible to the average consumer. The company's growth was rapid, and by 1903, Ford had established his iconic Model T factory on Paquette Avenue, just a short distance from Corktown. The impact of the automotive industry on Corktown was profound, as thousands of workers flocked to the area to work in the factories and shipyards. The neighborhood's population swelled, and new businesses and services sprang up to cater to the needs of the workers. The establishment of the Corktown Hotel in 1906, for example, provided lodging for travelers and workers alike, while the nearby restaurants and taverns served as gathering places for the community. One notable example is the historic Two-Way Inn, which was established in 1876 and remains one of the oldest continuously operating bars in Detroit. As the automotive industry continued to grow, so did the influence of labor unions in Corktown. The United Automobile Workers, UAW, was founded in 1935, and the union's efforts to improve working conditions and secure better wages for workers led to significant conflicts with management. The 1936 to 1937 Flint sit-down strike, which began at General Motors' factory in Flint, Michigan, but spread to other cities, including Detroit, marked a major turning point in the labor movement. Workers from Corktown's factories and shipyards participated in the strike, which ultimately resulted in the recognition of the UAW as a legitimate bargaining agent for workers. The mid-20th century saw significant changes in Corktown's landscape as the neighborhood began to experience decline and disinvestment. The construction of Interstate 75 in the 1950s and 1960s cut through the heart of the neighborhood, displacing longtime residents and businesses. The decline of the automotive industry in the latter half of the 20th century also had a devastating impact on Corktown, as factories and shipyards closed or relocated. The once thriving commercial district along Michigan Avenue began to empty out, and many of the neighborhood's historic buildings fell into disrepair. As the decline of the automotive industry continued to take its toll on Corktown, the neighborhood's landscape underwent significant changes. The once thriving commercial district along Michigan Avenue, which had been lined with shops, restaurants, and taverns, began to empty out, leaving behind a trail of vacant storefronts and abandoned buildings. The construction of Interstate 75, which had cut through the heart of the neighborhood, had also disrupted the community's social fabric, displacing longtime residents and businesses. Despite these challenges, Corktown's historic architecture remained a testament to its rich cultural heritage. The neighborhood's iconic Tiger Stadium, which had been built in 1912 and had hosted countless baseball games, concerts, and events, stood as a beloved landmark even as the surrounding area struggled with decline. However, the stadium's own fate was uncertain. As the Detroit Tigers announced plans to leave the stadium in 1999 and move to a new facility, Comerica Park, located in downtown Detroit. The loss of Tiger Stadium was a significant blow to Corktown, but it also presented an opportunity for the neighborhood to reimagine its future. In the 1990s and early 2000s, a new wave of entrepreneurs and artists began to move into the area, drawn by the neighborhood's affordable rents, historic architecture, and vibrant cultural scene. The establishment of the Corktown Tavern in 1987, for example, helped to revitalize the neighborhood's nightlife, while the opening of the Astro Coffee Shop in 2011 brought a new wave of creative energy to the area. Founded by Philip Cooley, a Detroit native and entrepreneur, Slo's quickly became a staple of the neighborhood, attracting visitors from across the city with its delicious slow-cooked meats and lively atmosphere. The restaurant's success helped to spur further investment in the area, as other businesses and entrepreneurs began to take notice of Corktown's potential. As the 21st century progressed, Corktown continued to evolve, with new developments and initiatives aimed at preserving the neighborhood's historic character while also promoting its growth and revitalization. The establishment of the Corktown Historic District in 2010, for example, helped to protect the neighborhood's iconic architecture and ensure that future development would be sensitive to its cultural heritage. Meanwhile, the formation of the Corktown Community Development Corporation in 2007 provided a framework for community engagement and participation in the neighborhood's revitalization efforts. The redevelopment of the old Michigan Central Depot, which had been abandoned since 1988, was another significant project that helped to shape Corktown's future. In 2018, the Ford Motor Company announced plans to purchase the depot and redevelop it as a hub for its electric vehicle and autonomous driving divisions. The project, which included the restoration of the depot's historic architecture and the construction of new office space, was seen as a major coup for Corktown, bringing new investment and jobs to the area while also helping to preserve its rich cultural heritage. As the redevelopment of the old Michigan Central Depot progressed, it became a symbol of Corktown's resurgence as a hub for innovation and creativity. The Ford Motor Company's investment in the area helped to attract new businesses and talent, with many startups and entrepreneurs setting up shop in the neighborhood's historic buildings. One notable example is the arrival of the tech firm StockX, which established its headquarters in a renovated warehouse on Rosa Parks Boulevard in 2019. The company's presence helped to further establish Corktown as a destination for e-commerce and logistics, with its cutting-edge platform for buying and selling sneakers and other high-demand goods. The redevelopment of the Michigan Central Depot also sparked a new wave of interest in Corktown's historic architecture, with many long-abandoned buildings being restored to their former glory. The depot itself, with its stunning Beaux-Arts design and imposing clock tower, was transformed into a vibrant hub for community activity, featuring public art installations, food vendors, and event spaces. The surrounding neighborhood saw a similar resurgence, with new restaurants, bars, and shops opening up along Michigan Avenue and other nearby streets. One notable example is the establishment of the trendy boutique hotel, the Siren Hotel, which opened its doors in 2018 and quickly became a favorite among visitors to the city. As Corktown continued to evolve, it also faced new challenges and opportunities related to gentrification and community development. The influx of new businesses and residents brought much-needed investment to the area, but it also raised concerns about displacement and affordability for long-time residents. In response, community leaders and organizations worked to establish initiatives aimed at preserving the neighborhood's cultural heritage and promoting inclusive development. One notable example is the Corktown Community Benefits Agreement, established in 2020, which provides a framework for ensuring that new development projects in the area prioritize community needs and benefits. The agreement, negotiated between local stakeholders and developers, includes provisions for affordable housing, job training programs, and community facilities with the aim of creating a more equitable and sustainable future for Corktown. As the neighborhood continues to grow and evolve, it remains to be seen how these efforts will shape its trajectory. But one thing is clear: Corktown's rich history and cultural heritage will remain at the heart of its identity, even as it looks towards a brighter, more prosperous future. In recent years, the city of Detroit has also invested in initiatives aimed at preserving Corktown's historic character, including the establishment of the Corktown Historic District Commission, which oversees development projects in the area to ensure that they align with the neighborhood's cultural and architectural heritage. The Commission's work has helped to protect iconic landmarks like the Tiger Stadium site, now home to a public park and memorial honoring the stadium's legacy, as well as the historic commercial buildings along Michigan Avenue, many of which have been restored to their original grandeur. The revitalization of Corktown has also had a ripple effect on the surrounding neighborhoods, with nearby areas like North Corktown and Brush Park experiencing similar growth and investment. The redevelopment of the Fisher Building, a stunning example of Art Deco architecture located just north of Corktown, is one notable example of this trend, with its historic facade and interior spaces being restored to their former glory as part of a major renovation project. With its rich history, vibrant cultural scene, and stunning architecture, Corktown remains one of Detroit's most beloved and enduring neighborhoods, a true gem in the heart of the city. The ongoing redevelopment of the Michigan Central Depot, now rebranded as the Ford Mobility Hub, serves as a testament to the neighborhood's potential for growth and transformation, even as it honors its proud heritage as a hub for innovation and creativity. From its humble beginnings as a rural township to its current status as a thriving hub for innovation and creativity, Corktown has consistently demonstrated a unique ability to adapt, evolve, and endure. The ripples of its industrial past continue to shape the present, influencing the lives of generations to come. And yet, despite the many changes it has undergone, Corktown remains deeply rooted in its heritage, a testament to the power of community and the human spirit. Corktown's story is a microcosm of the American experience itself, a story of perseverance, resilience, and transformation. And so, as we bid farewell to this chapter in the history of Corktown, Detroit, we're left with a profound sense of appreciation for the people, places, and events that have shaped this remarkable neighborhood. Thank you for joining me throughout this historical journey. That's all for today's History with Herodotus. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember that, to understand the present, we must first understand the past.